little pigs. Here's Johnny.
Busy cemetery here today. It's always good to see the gas man in the cemetery. Good morning everyone, how you doing? It's Paul here from Unusual Things. Now I know I don't usually have my rucksack on my back, but it's one of those days. It's nice and sunny here in Kingston Cemetery this morning. Now the reason why I'm in Kingston Cemetery, which is the local cemetery to near where I live actually, is because today's video is all about Stanley Kubrick. Now Stanley Kubrick was an amazing film director. I'll tell you a little bit more about his career in a moment. Now the reason why I'm starting here is because the actual video I filmed is in... what's around the corner? There's a noisy dog there then. The actual video that I filmed is near St Albans, which is just north of London, sort of north of Watford area, okay? But I couldn't actually get out and walk around the area and film. The reason being was it's a private housing area. Now, on today's video, we don't actually get to see his burial plot, but what we do get to see is his house of where he is buried, because he's buried on the grounds. And I will put a picture up there for you to see. So we're going to the video. It's a bit of a different one today because a lot of it is from the car, to be honest with you. So we'll just plough on. I'll tell you a little bit more about Stanley Kubrick first, and then I'll show you where his final resting place is. Stanley Kubrick, July the 26th, 1928, until March the 7th, 1999, was an American film director, producer, screenwriter and photographer, widely considered one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Kubrick was born on July the 26th, 1928, in the Lying-in Hospital in Manhattan, New York City, to a Jewish family. He was the first of two children of Jacob Leonard Kubrick, May the 21st, 1902, to October the 19th, 1985, known as Jack or Jax, and his wife Sadie Gertrude Kubrick, October the 28th, 1903, to April the 23rd, 1985, known as Gert. His sister, Barbara Mary Kubrick, was born in May 1934. Kubrick attended William Howard Taft High School from 1941 to 1945, though he joined the school's photography club, which permitted him to photograph the school's events in their magazine. He was a mediocre student with a 6-7/D+ grade average. Introverted and shy, Kubrick had a low attendance record and often skipped school to watch double feature films. He graduated in 1945, but his poor grades, combined with the demand for college admissions from soldiers returning from the Second World War, eliminated any hope of higher education. Later in life, Kubrick spoke disdainfully of his education and of American schooling as a whole, maintaining that schools were ineffective in stimulating critical thinking and student interest. While in high school, Kubrick was chosen as the official school photographer. In the mid-1940s, since he was unable to gain admission to day session classes at colleges, he briefly attended evening classes at the City College of New York. Eventually, he sold a photograph series to Look magazine, which was printed on June 26, 1945. Kubrick supplemented his income by playing chess for quarters in Washington Square Park and various Manhattan chess clubs. Kubrick decided to make a short film documentary about boxer Walter Cartier, whom he had photographed and written about for Look magazine a year earlier. He rented a camera and produced a 16-minute black and white documentary, Day of the Fight. Kubrick found the money independently to finance it. He had considered asking Montgomery Clift to narrate it, whom he had met during a photographic session for Look, but settled on CBS News veteran Douglas Edwards. According to Paul Duncan, the film was remarkably accomplished for a first film, and used a backward tracking shot to film a scene in which Cartier and his brother walk towards the camera, a device which later became one of Kubrick's characteristic camera movements. After raising $1,000, showing his short films to friends and family, Kubrick found the finances to begin making his first feature film, Fear and Desire, 1953. Originally running with the title The Trap, written by his friend Howard Sackler. Kubrick's uncle, Martin Pavella, a Los Angeles pharmacy owner, invested a further $9,000 on condition that he be credited as executive producer of the film. Kubrick assembled several actors and a small crew totaling 14 people, 5 actors, 5 crewmen and 4 others to help transport the equipment, and flew to San Gabriel Mountains in California for a 5-week low-budget shoot. Later renamed The Shape of Fear before finally being named Fear and Desire, it is a fictional elegy about a team of soldiers who survive a plane crash and are caught behind enemy lines in a war. Kubrick married his high school sweetheart, Toba Metz, on May 29, 1948, when he was 19 years old. The couple lived together in Greenwich Village and divorced 3 years later in 1951. He met his second wife, the Austrian-born dancer and theatrical designer Ruth Sobotka, in 1952. They lived together in New York City's East Village, beginning in 1952, married in January 1955, and moved to Hollywood in July 1955, where she played a brief part as a ballet dancer in Kubrick's film Killer Kiss, 1955. The following year, she was art director for his film The Killing, 1956, and they divorced in 1957. During the production of Paths of Glory in Munich in early 1957, Kubrick met and romanced the German actress Christiane Harlan, who played a small, though memorable role in the film. Kubrick married Harlan in 1958, and the couple remained together for 40 years until his death in 1999. Besides his stepdaughter, they had 2 daughters together, Anya Renata, April 6, 1959 to July 7, 2009, and Vivian Vanessa, born August 5, 1960. On March 7, 1999, 6 days after screening a final cut of Eyes Wide Shut for his family and the stars, Kubrick died in his sleep at the age of 70, suffering a heart attack. His funeral was held 5 days later at Childwickbury Manor, with only close friends and family in attendance, totaling about 100 people. The media were kept a mile away outside the entrance gate. A list of the films credited to Stanley Kubrick: Fear and Desire, 1952, Killer's Kiss, 1955, The Killing, 1956, Paths of Glory, 1957, Spartacus, 1960, Lolita, 1962, Dr. Strangelove, 1964, 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968, A Clockwork Orange, 1971, Barry Lyndon, 1975, The Shining, 1980, Full Metal Jacket, 1987, Eyes Wide Shut, 1999, and posthumously released in 2001, the film AI, Artificial Intelligence, is dedicated to Kubrick, who intended to create an adaptation of the film. So there's all the information there about Stanley Kubrick. Now I'll get back to myself in the car. Okay, right. Private grounds up here where Stanley Kubrick used to live. Now, I'm going to try and play dumb. If I get caught, I can get asked to leave, can't I? But there just seems to be an old lady up there who's hovering around the gates. Oh, I don't care. I'm going to go for it. This lady on the road looks like she might stop me. But caution, children and ponies on the road, okay? Okay, she's not stopped me. Right, let's go along here. Let's see how far we can get before we get told off and told to turn around and go back. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the layout of the land is, and it's hard because I can't obviously hold my phone while I'm driving. However, on the left I can see a massive house, and in front of me I can see a massive house. So I'm just gonna see how this pans out. I don't know whether let's have a look. Oh, gentle. Okay, this is where Stanley Kubrick used to live. Chilbrickbury House. Private, no access. Okay, I don't know there's a way to turn around here. But no, there's not. Anyway, I don't know how much you can see of that. I'm going to start with, anyway, he is buried in the gardens of that house. There's a few people standing up the end there. So playing dumb, I don't think will work. However, it's that one on the left. I don't know if you saw it or not. I think that's as near as we're going to get. I can put a picture up anyway, I'll show you. And I'll obviously talk about Stanley Kubrick and tell you about him and his films and so forth. I'm just going to come back down here. Try not to hit that fence. Oh, otherwise I'll have the Blue Blood Brigade coming out shouting at me probably when I... let's go over here, very gentle. There we go. There's that lady again, walking down there. I'm just going to move the camera. Right. That over there, I don't know if you can see it. That is Stanley Kubrick's old house. Like I say, I'll put some pictures up for you. That's as near as we're going to get there, ladies and gentlemen, and he is buried on those grounds. Okay, Jill Whitbury House. There we go. Let's put that in there.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair. Sir, yes, sir.
Sorry about the new and improved angle. Anyway, yeah, so that was on the grounds, and like I said, that house that I showed you, but it's not high security, but eyes are on you as soon as you drive on that bit of land that we drove up. Proper eyes on. So there we have it, Stanley Kubrick's final resting place. Like I say, he's buried in his gardens, which we were never going to get to. However, I wanted to do a little bit of a sneaky beaky and get as close as I could to his house. An amazing man, directed so many great things. A Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and not forgetting, by any means, The Shining. How can we forget that? And there is rumour, only a rumour, and it depends how much of a conspiracy theorist you are. Do you believe the moon landings were genuine? There's so much against it. How can Nixon on a landline phone a spacecraft in space when my mobile phone sometimes doesn't even reach my bedroom up the road? Do you know what I mean? It's just mental. And there's President Nixon. Oh yeah, well done, Apollo. You've landed on the moon. Rubbish. On the landline? How? And then there's the next thing. Sorry, I'm just going off on a bit of a conspiracy theorist here. You know, when the spacecraft takes off, who's filming that? Because there's a cameraman that films it going up. Have you ever looked into that? Look into it, honestly. It's bonkers. You watch the moon landing taking off. The spacecraft takes off and the camera follows them. They didn't have GoPros that follow you, sensors those days. How would they have got it back? But that. And there's rumours. The reason why I've gone on to that is that Stanley Kubrick, rumours, was allegedly involved in the fake moon landing videos. He done 2001: A Space Odyssey a little bit before that. So look into it. It's amazing. I love stuff like that. I might start a channel on conspiracy theories because I love looking into them. I think they're amazing. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, Stanley Kubrick, we got as close as we can. A legend, a great filmmaker. I love a lot of his films. And I think his last one was Eyes Wide Shut in 1999, which was released after he died. So there we go. Stanley Kubrick. Anyway, thanks for joining me. It's a bit of a different video today, isn't it? I'm sat in the car finishing off. Sat in the car doing most of my talk, to be honest with you. Yeah, thanks for watching as always. Hit the old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you all. So I'm tired. I'm looking like that because I've had a long morning driving. And I will see you all on the next one. Take it easy.